Alright guys, what's going on? It's Sunday. I want to say the 2nd or the 3rd May. Gonna switch it up a little bit. Was a little busy with housework. If you guys saw, I don't know if that's in focus. If you guys saw, if you guys follow my Instagram, which if you're not, go follow right now. We did a kind of like a DIY like home project thing. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see it, go follow my Instagram. What we did with the canopy and everything. But that's why I've been MIA. We've been kind of like scaling stuff up, blueprinting and all that good stuff, and construction, all that. So we've been training. Nothing really changed. Gym's not open, but haven't had time to really pick up the camera. But yeah, I want to do this video a little differently. I'm gonna do like a series of like, not like how to, but just like how I do my leg days. Because a lot of people are like, what accessories, what, and obviously volume in terms of like numbers on the squat, bench, and deadlift are gonna matter. But like what accessories or what, what rep scheme, what this, what that. So like I'm just gonna make like how I do my split, and how it's just gonna be like how I do my leg day, how I do my push, how I do my pull, and then I'm literally, it's gonna be like a 101 how to, just what I do, any advice I could give or anything I could help. I'll take you through like, in terms of foam rolling, I mean, obviously just make sure you're warm, warm-ups, how I set up like, squat warm-ups, bench warm-ups, like the whole nine. I'll take you through the videos and I'll show you guys how we're doing it. We're in a little bit of not a rush, but like we're trying to drive the car today. I took it to the gym. I want to do like a photo shoot, so I'm kind of like on a time schedule. We're gonna take some start squatting, and we'll take you guys over there. Okay, squatting today. So, few tips here, because I'm gonna say what I need to say now before we get into the squat session and the numbers. Start from the basics. Rack height. Find a good rack height, a consistent, whatever gym you go to, find the certain notch or if you're fortunate enough to have these powerlifting racks, like these roll combo racks, or just any rack in general. It doesn't have to be this, it can be these cages we have. Find your rack height and set it there every time. Find a comfortable rack height, set it there every time. Take the variables out of the scenario. So like take the guessing game out of it. And running off of that is, it goes from stance, right? Stance, width, like angle on toe flare or ankle flare, whatever you want to call it, grip, breathing, walk out. Try to manipulate such a repeatable process that it's like once you get under the bar, no matter if it's free weight or heavy single, it's so repetitive that it's just like instilled in you. That way you can take the guessing game out of it, and make sure it's proper too. Second, in terms of like working up to your weight, so from like warm-ups to all that, I'll do the bar for like 10. I'll throw some pauses in there, stay at the bottom for a while, make sure everything is loose. If I see something's tight, I'll stop what I'm doing from the bar, and then either just like work on it, or just like go back to a foam roller and hit that area or something like that. It happens with my hips sometimes, or my glutes. And then I'll usually and starting from there, do 50% for 5, 60 for 4, 70 for 3, and then boom, after that, if I'm working at 70%, or if I'm going up to 80, and that all depends on the program, but that's just how I do it as well. I know some people go plate, 25, another plate, 25, right? Like whatever program or coach you're running, stick with that. That's just how I do it, like I said. And in terms of like numbers and rep schemes, that's gonna matter depending on the program. And then, so we're gonna start the session now. I don't wanna get ahead of myself because I'll talk when we get to the accessories, but I'll show you how, in terms of like working sets and this and that, how I set up my squat days. birds are chirping, but I'm listening to screamo music. Top set of 3 done. Now we got a 4x8. Like I said, depicting what program you're running, this stuff is really irrelevant because obviously my rep scheme doesn't line up with yours, unless of course you're working with me. But, right, same exact, I mean, that's why I recorded all the clips. And I have in all the other videos too. Same exact grip, big breath, same place on the back, on the trap. Walk out the same 2 to 3 steps. Balance, control, big breath, stabilize yourself, and then, you know, descend, squat. Just take the variables out of it. That way you can just, not mindlessly, right? Because if you practice a good habit, I mean, I guess mindlessly, right? Because it's all right if you're doing it mindlessly as long as it's good. Just be conscious of your form every time you're under the bar. Like I said, from working sets to PRs to damn near the bar. It doesn't even, you know, it doesn't matter. We're gonna do the 4x8. Probably, I'm gonna record 1 set, but then I'll knock them out real quick, and then I'll show you guys accessories. All right, we just finished squats. It was a 4x6. I don't know if I told you guys 4x8, 4x6 at 135. Rest time. It's kind of individualized. It's recommended, what do they say, 3 to 5 minutes or something like that. Me, realistically, I just wait till I catch my breath till I'm calm, till like my heart, not my heart, but like till everything kind of slows down and I'm like calm, cool, and collected. If that takes 3 minutes, if it takes 4 minutes, if it takes 5 minutes, whatever it is, just don't wait too long to get cold. Obviously on accessories, it's gonna be a little different, it's gonna be a little faster, like 1 to 2 minutes. But again, it's individualized, so if it's faster, no big deal. Next movement is RDLs. Before I start doing them, or maybe I'll lay it over, but you wanna really, it's a hip hinge movement. It's not so much like you're picking up off the floor. I do like doing them dumbbell over barbell, just because naturally your body will align more because you can bend, or not bend, but like it's 2 pieces as opposed to 1 conformed piece that you can't maneuver. You can obviously overload barbell a lot more than you can dumbbell, but it is an accessory, so I do treat it as such. You can do either or, but if I label it accessory per se, like I want to treat it as such. I want to be able to isolate the muscle that much more. So glutes, hamstrings, right? Instead of like really just like deadlifting it. So I'll treat it as such to make sure I get optimal performance out of the given movement, which at this rate is RDL. Again, 3x10, nice lighter weight. When you're picking it up, I mean, when you're hinging, you really want to throw your hips back, fall on your heels almost, like to the point like where your toes almost pick up, and then you really want to like thrust and like drive with your glutes, like till you're literally fully erect. Like when you see me do the movement, it's almost like a snap, like a bounce up, because I'm thrusting through my glutes and through my hamstrings to, you know, to really blow up out of the movement, not necessarily picking it up, if that makes sense as much as I can verbally explain it. But you'll probably see more in the video. So we're doing 3x10 here, and then we'll show you the next accessory. Okay, those are done. one thing I want to say real quick that I forgot to say is mobility, hamstring mobility, because that is going to matter. Don't freak out, because I remember when I first started doing RDLs, I was like, damn, I'm not getting low enough, and I'm not, right? Because like someone can go lower than you, someone goes higher than you, et cetera, et cetera. Just make sure when you're on the lowering phase, how low you go doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, mobility restriction, it's all where you feel the stretch and where you feel the movement. You don't have to go lower than necessary. I mean, if you could, without sacrificing form, but if you can get the activation and the proper drive from the hips, you're pretty much not going to move them out. Squeeze at the top, obviously, but how low you go, in my opinion, doesn't really matter, because if you're limited to, it's not like your knee, but like that's where you have optimal activation, it'll get better over time, of course, but like, you know, like apply, like start executing the movement from there, and then as you progress, move forward accordingly. Don't go too low too fast or too heavy too fast. This will hurt your back or hurt your hamstrings or your glutes. For guys specifically, hamstring and glute mobility, or hamstring mobility and just glute work in general is very underplayed. There's a lot of power that comes from your hips, including myself. Very, very underrated movement, or underrated muscle group in general. A lot of power comes from there, so just be nice to it, because it will leave you sore for a while if you haven't worked like this. So take that moving forward, and now we're going to move on to the next accessory. Okay, so reverse hypers. Again, another very, very underrated movement. You see, like a lot of these are not like, the way I've been training, right, is it's not, right, like I did the leg extensions, the hamstring curls, and those have their parts. But like I said, there's a lot of movements that like that don't get enough attention, and they should. If I'm not mistaken, these kind of got a lot of hype when powerlifters started doing them. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's like, I feel like where it originated. Just a lot. I mean, you can, if you don't have the machine, you can use a bench, like lay chest down on the bench and kind of like kick your feet up. Right, that's not optimal, like I said. I don't know if commercial gyms have it. I know the 24-hour that I used to go to on Central Avenue had it, so I'm sure other 24 hours will have it. But you can really overload this. Again, a lot of it's power from your glutes. Try to get your back out of the movement. Don't overload so much weight that it's, you know, you're overcompensating the movement with your lower back. Again, really drive, again, from your glutes, a very underrated movement. Guys, always unrack your weight too. Another thing, what was I gonna say? Shit. On the reverse hypers. Always, if you have the actual machine, where you're gripping at the top by the handles, make sure it's like you're hooking and you're not using it for like power, almost like you like initiating the movement with your arms. Just use it as like a lock in place. It's kind of like when you're deadlifting, right? You're not like picking up, right? You're just hooking your arms and you're kind of just holding it in place and executing the movement. Same thing on the reverse hyper. You don't want to like pick yourself up, like producing power that way. You kind of want to hook yourself and focus on really just leg swinging back. That will help you not use your lower back, because you could overcompensate that and start using your lower back, and it'll be like, oh, this is, you know, like I can move so much weight. Well, yeah, of course you can, because you're not isolating the movement as best you could. And when it comes to isolations, and the last movement we have after this is lunges, by the way, bodyweight lunges. When it comes to isolation movements, you don't have to You don't have to overload so much to the point of like, I mean, that you want to concentrate on that specific muscle group so you can get the optimal performance out of it. When it comes to compound movements, squat, bench, deadlift, that's when you can kind of overload and work the entire chain or the entire muscle group to get those given results. So, right, I mean, if you could go heavier, go heavier. If you can do it without compromising movement. But just, you know, see how it moves, see how it feels. I'd rather you learn the movement first and then throw so much weight on the bar or pick up so much weight that it doesn't feel right or you end up getting hurt or something. Okay, now lunges. I don't think there's anything really special. Like, I don't think there's a cue I can give you. The way I do lunges, it's obviously walking lunges. You can do dumbbell, like I said, but I always do body weight because by the time I'm done with all that stuff, I'm usually fried. It's this area, right? I'm not overstepping so much where my glutes are hurting and I'm getting a stretch on my quad. It's a little closer, you know, kind of like, right, what is that called, right, like that box. You're doing 3x10 each leg. You can do it with dumbbell, depending on the squat day that I have. Like if it's more of a volume day, I'll maybe use dumbbell. But like I said, even if you feel great, do 3 properly executed sets of 10 by each leg, so 20 walking steps with no weight, with enough concentration. You should get, you know, that should just be enough. And like I said, if you really have to step it up and go weight, don't grab 50 pounds and start, you know, because you're not gonna be able to maintain it. Like I said, drop the weight, focus on the movement. It's an isolation, treat it as such, concentrate on the quads, and then progress from there. Another thing is, I know a lot of people drop their knee. I don't. I get it to the floor. I kind of like cover it. Just so, like, I don't really bounce off the ground. I see a lot of people doing that. One, that's definitely not good for your knees. And two, it forces more control over the movement. Again, keep your core tight. Like, see, this is the first set. I hope you guys can hear me. And I'm already, like, while I'm talking, I'm getting out of breath. I'm getting a good quad pump, right? I kind of step just outside shoulder width. I don't even know how many I did. I just did walking back and forth. But like I said, staple movement, those are the 4 movements I do, including squat on my leg days. Occasionally I'll throw in quad extensions or hamstring curls, but like I said, that's if I'm feeling great, if the day's going great. But these are the staples, like have to's every day on leg days. This is just how I do it. Like I said, there's no one way, but the way I design my leg days is it hits every lower part of my body, just enough with enough hypertrophy and strength work to get you really going. And like I said, poorly executed workouts are not gonna, right, because I could just bounce through lunges and be fine, but really just concentrate on the movement. Concentration in and of itself, in terms of like mindset and mind-muscle connection, will change your training on a whole other level. You can take the same day with a different attitude and it will evolve your training like exponentially. So really, it's not just coming in and breaking down the bodies and the muscle fibers and everything. Guys, really learn, try to take something from every session. You know, even if you're having a bad day, like try to really like, or like you're sore, stuff isn't clicking, or form's not right, or nothing's moving properly. Break it down, really concentrate, and try to turn that, not turn the L into a W, because we do have bad days, but try to like, just learn where, you know, like from work and this and that, and like coming into the gym, like what you could have done differently, or how you could approach it differently, could you have warmed up better, gone slower, drank more water, you know? Whatever it is. But I'm gonna do 2 more sets here. We're gonna wrap it up. It's about an hour-long workout, which is great considering I was recording and doing like my explanation and understanding to all this stuff. If you guys have any questions, hit me in the comments or message me privately, whatever you guys want to do. If you guys like this style, I'm not going to keep doing it, right? But I mean, if you like this sort of like teaching style, I guess, on what I know, or obviously because I don't know everything, but on just what I learned, what I known over the past 2 or 3 years of training, I can express it. But yeah, subscribe if you like it. Come back for more, and we will catch you guys. So the next day is going to be a push, which I'll probably upload 2 days from now, because it's going to be a pretty raw, so it's not going to be like cutting and doing that. So the next video we'll put together is going to be a push day, and then pull after that, and then that'll close this week's video out. But any questions or anything you guys want to see specifically, let me know, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Oh, you guys want to know a quick secret though, for like successful leg days? Always have your socks on point. Key point.